Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today we're going to do a double on the FAQ. So we did one earlier this week, frequently asked questions with 1258. We're doubling up on it this week because I'm going away during the weekend. I have some time here right now. This will probably not be an hour. Maybe this will be going a little shorter, maybe half an hour. Um, and I just know there's a ton of questions. I can't keep up with them. You guys, we're over 5,200 subscribers now. I'm at like 60 or 70 channel members. So the comments are getting beyond me. Let's get into another frequently asked questions. It'll be kind of a double dip because of the holiday weekend. Terry Sim says, don't forget you would need a ton of posting power to be able to make so many transactions. What are you talking about there? Should you open all? Oh, because in the video, I talked about how if you open all of your Chaos Legion packs now that on December 8th, when that's going to be available to you, you could theoretically leverage that value into rentals or into sales. And then if you could sell them at a time when there are fewer of those cards listed, it's potential that you would be extracting more value for the cards, more price for the card's value. That's going to be a case by case basis. And I guess his concern is that, look, if you're opening 1,000 packs and then you're trying to, you and extract that value, it's going to be difficult based on how much hive you have, because you only have so many, what are they called, resource credits. And resource credits on the Hive blockchain allow you to transact, allows you to do anything, play a game, list a card for rent, change your rental price, buy a card, sell a card. Yeah. Oh, and it was an immortal god. IG2, IG1. Anytime you have a chance to fight like inter squad, I always want to give him my best shot, but I was distracted there. Okay, that's okay. Questions. So yeah, resource credits are a problem. I have a couple hundred hives, so it's really not that much of a problem for me. Um, if you are running into that problem where you just don't have enough resource credits, you really should take 10 or $20, even, maybe $100 and just buy some hive. It's an asset also, right? You just sit on it. It's currently going crazy, but hive is $2.10, up 45% in the last 24 hours. This is a good blockchain. This is the blockchain that Splinterlands is based on. Could the price go even higher? Absolutely. I believe all crypto right now is, especially the altcoins, are going to just go be mooning off into big numbers. Every blockchain is different. Every situation is different. Some of them will go first, and then this is not a blanket piece of advice to say just go buy things blindly. Some have already popped off. Some haven't. Hive is popping off. I was accumulating Hive around 20 cents. We're over $2. That's a 10x. But it probably could go, $4, $6, something like that. And then we're going to start to eventually move into a bear market. This is not at all technical analysis. This is just me guessing at where these prices could go. So please understand that and take it with a grain of salt. But my point is, regardless of what the price is, you need some hive to operate on the Hive blockchain. And the more you have, the more resource credits you have. The more resource credits, the more opportunities to do things like transact, rent, sell, buy. So that, to answer your question, I'm not concerned about it because I do have a couple hundred hive. And usually a couple, even 100 is plenty. Even 50 is plenty. Thanks, man. Nathan Johnson says, Turek again, been thinking long and hard about the new summoner. I still agree that water will go melee, yep. But thinking that since it is a dwarf, there may be a chance for, say, void. I say this because aggro and the team like to pull these ideas from other games that help fill out. And in other RPG, dwarves are distinctively distrustful of magic. That's super true. Ooh, I like that. That's a great point, Nathan. You're totally right about like kind of the lore of dwarves. They just don't like magic. They aren't good at magic. They're more melee focused. They pick up a weapon and attack a wizard. They're not going to do spells, mostly, generally speaking. Think of Gimli from Lord of the Rings. Some games even giving them a bonus to resisting magic. Yes, I think in Dungeons and Dragons, if you create a dwarf, they out the gate they come out with a greater probability of for instance, things like magic resist, but also a weakened ability to cast powerful spells. It depends on which D&D you play and all this kind of, but you're totally right. This is an excellent point because I definitely think you're right. They observe the sort of ethos out there around around lore, not just their own lore, but like what do people think lore wise? Like what is the thing that people say about, angels or about demons or about dwarves? And you're totally right. And it takes the flipping of the script like to another level, doesn't it? Because we all think they're going to go magic. Blue is magic. Everyone says blue's magic, magic. That's since day one. That's been the case with Alric. And then Bortus was a magic nerf, but even that is a magic conversation, like a summoner that deals with the topic of magic. And so either way, magic has always been blue. Blue has always been magic. Whether it's plus or minus, it's magic with blue. And now the dwarf comes out and she looks physically strong. She looks like she's a melee beast. And dwarves would be, but then you're right. This other thing is like, I think more confirmation to me. I think you're totally right. But yeah, it could be, they could go ahead and say it's not +1 melee. They could go ahead and say, like you said, void. Or would that make sense? Void. Magic resistance? Would that be overpowered at rare? Because she's a rare summoner. Would that be a super overpowered summoner? Because think, Bortus is -1 magic. That's helpful. But Void at the same level of summoner, rare, would be way better than -1 magic, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Because Void, if you attack me with... How does Void work? If you attack me with 5 magic, I am going to take... With Void, I'm going to take 3 hit points, 3 damage. If you attack me with 5 magic and I have Bortus, I'm going to take 4 hit points. So it's a blanket bonus above. So if it is Void, that would be objectively better than Bortus. I think they would stay away from making a rare summoner that is objectively better than another rare summoner. But maybe. I say maybe. I like what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense, but I think I still lean towards saying, no, not that, because Bortus is going to come into the modern format of the rank battle. And so I find it hard to believe that they would do 2 water summoners that are both essentially magic defense summoners. I think they're going to do a +1 melee. It could also be like, shield or something. But again, would that be overpowered? Just blanket shield on all of your monsters? Maybe. Void armor? No, I don't like that. I stand by melee, but I like what you're thinking. That's fun to explore. Thanks, Turk. Game Boy Ali commented. He said, "Hey Dwayne, love how in depth you go on in this video. That's should you open your packs? Thanks, man. I didn't think about being able to open the packs instantly and how that could affect the voucher price either. I wonder how many people will also sell their packs hoping they will be able to buy in the public sale for cheaper." Yeah, I think a lot of people will sell their packs hoping that they'll be able to buy. Oh, before I read any more, Game Boy Ali does Splinterland content too, guys. You should check out his channel, Game Boy Ali. And he just did an interview with Gank the other day. And I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. I just caught like 2 seconds of it this morning and then I had to go. So I'm going to watch it later, but I'm excited for it because you guys know how I feel about all of Gank's content. And I'm sure Game Boy Ali had a bunch of great things to say. Can't wait to find out. So let's see. I wonder how many people will be also selling their packs hoping they can buy back into the public sale for cheaper. Yeah, I think that's probably going to happen. It already is. Like people are selling packs for $8. And they're going to obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but certainly a number of those people are going to want to buy $4 packs when that opportunity arises. That seems like a slam dunk. You're going to get the airdrops on the pre-sale. You're going to get the airdrops like moving forward, but then you can liquidate that value. And then if you could sell an $8 pack, pre-sale pack, and buy 2 packs of the general, nice, right? Nice. But personally, I just want every pack I can get. It's like Could that work? Yes. But I want all the, I don't want to let go one pack. For me, I'm super excited about the pack opening on December 8th. It should be a ton of fun to study all the cards and figure out which ones will be the most useful. Totally. That's going to be a lot of homework. That's going to be it, guys. You need to stick around and stay tuned to the channel. We are going to dive deep on the cards that are launching. Which ones do I think are overpowered? Which ones are a bargain? Which ones are overpriced? How do I see the meta evolving? There's so much we need to talk about there. Stay tuned. Make sure you're watching that content early and often because we're going to need to pump that stuff out. And it's going to be so variable. Like on December 8th, details are going to be one way, and on the 9th, they'll be a different way. And if you want to take maximum advantage for your investment here, your time and attention here, then you really need to be paying attention closely to the marketplace. You guys, I'm confident you guys can do this on your own, but I'm going to walk you through it too. So stick around and look for that content. Keep up the killer content. Thanks, man. I was a guest on Splinterlands HQ. Yep. Last night. Okay, last night. Gave you a shout out. A shout out. Nice, man. Can't wait till your next video. Like I said, I haven't watched the video yet, Game Boy Ellie, but I'm gonna watch it. I watched just you introducing yourself, and I turned it off because I don't have time to watch the whole thing. But I'll watch the whole thing from start to finish, probably tonight when the kids go to bed or something. Tonight I'm going away on vacation. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'm away with the family. Tonight's just me and the girls, and then tomorrow and the rest is me and the whole family, my wife included. So tonight's games, popcorn, movies that are inappropriate. What I mean by that is like PG-13. I've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. But when Daddy's home and it's just Daddy, we usually watch something a little bit more edgy, still something wholesome and fun. Like for instance, one movie I loved that was kind of pushing the envelope was Chronicles of Narnia. It's a Disney production, I think, and the modern one was like 10 years old or something. It's quite good. I love the stories. The movie was okay. It's quite good, let's say. But if you have little girls or boys, it's kind of scary. And at one point, a main character dies, and I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. A main character does die, and you're like, the kids are terrified. But I remember just holding my daughter and being like, you know what, kiddo, like, just stay with me here. Like, just you need a snuggle in this moment. Stay with me, and let's keep watching, and let's see where it gets. And by the time, I don't want to ruin anything. You haven't seen it, but as things change, let's put it that way. You should have seen my Hazel, just like literally standing up, arms in the air, celebrating for joy, just to see how things had looked so dark and so bleak and so hopeless, and then for joy and excitement and victory to come. So Daddy pushes the envelope a little bit with the movies, but we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna eat some popcorn, and we're gonna have a daddy-daughter date. Okay, thanks, Game Boy. Secret Flesh says, hi, is it profitable to buy new cards after December 8th? I already answered this one, and that's when I was like, okay, let's just do a video. Depends how you do it, what price you pay, how patient you are, and how patient you are at holding them. So it seems like, I mean, to me, it depends on so many variables, it's really hard to answer that question. But I want to say it out loud because some of you don't know this. There are going to be smoking opportunities on December 8th. There will be. And and other people are going to get ripped off on those. When I say ripped off, it's not really ripped off. If you wait 2, 3, 4 years, the price you pay on December 8th will look inexpensive. I'm confident of that. But most of you aren't that patient. So what will happen to some people, and I hope this isn't you, pay really close attention if you're not, guys. Some people will run in on December 8th and they'll get into the marketplace, and what will they do? They'll see these new cards will be on the screen here, and they'll say, holy cow, that one looks really cool. And it'll be some ability you've never heard of and you don't really understand how it works, but you think you understand how it works, and maybe it would work perfectly with this other monster and it would synergize and allow me to win. Oh, I'm going to pay whatever I have to pay, and you buy it, and it's like, you don't even think about comparisons. You don't think about, do I fully understand the ability that it's offering? Because some abilities need you to really think. Amplify was one I had to really take some time to understand. Now I love this card. Now I love Amplify even more than I have in the previous videos where I've always said these cheap reward cards are really great and buy them. Now I'm like, it's a quality contributor to red in particular, especially because of certain tanks that I have on my team. and certain builds I can offer. So there are gonna be monsters that you're gonna immediately recognize as super valuable and very inexpensive. You need to be able to discern that for yourself and take advantage of that. That will be a win. But others of you are going to not be fully cognizant of the value proposition, meaning like what it actually does, and you're not going to fully understand whether the price point is fair. Those are things you can learn, but some of you you're not there yet. And so some of you are going to get hosed if you come in here and try and, trade that on December 8th. And if you don't feel confident about identifying high value for low price, then you really need to do one of a couple things. One, wait a few days before the price just kind of settle down a little bit. But you're going to lose some opportunity if you do that. Or pay close attention to the channel, and I'll try to walk you through what I'm seeing. And there's other great, I talk about other great content creators all the time, right? So there's tons of guys out there that are pumping out this stuff, and we're going to be telling you what we see. I think I have a unique eye for this type of high value analysis for low price. So stay tuned. We'll get into it. Because yeah, some of you are going to kick butt, and some of you are going to get, in trouble there. Calamero with the thumbs up. Thanks, buddy. Kingbo says, great vid, very informative and thoughtful. If I open early, depends on what the airdrop cards will be. If it's a great legendary card in the first airdrop, it should be available in the packs, even though the non-released airdrop cards are not yet. Yes, this is true. Now, I understand what he said, and the answer is yes. But not everybody's going to understand what he said, so I want to go through that a bit more slow after I reread this. Maybe slightly better chance to get, yes, you're exactly right, Kingbo. So let me unpack what he just said. On day one, at December 8th, what's going to happen? The packs are going to be openable. What else is going to happen? Dr. Blight will be released. One more card is also going to be released, another airdrop, because we sold the pre-sale 1 million packs. That means we get our Dr. Blights. It also means we get the first airdrop card. I don't know what it is. No one knows what it is, to my knowledge. Well, I guess Aggie and Yaba do, but nobody else. And so that's going to be released as well. And so his question is, if I open the packs on December 8th, after that airdrop has taken place, can that card be inside the pack? Yes. And won't I have a higher than average probability to draw that new exciting airdrop card because it's one of 14 cards that are going to be available? That's the only airdrop out of all the 14 possible airdrops that are going to be at that moment available inside the pack. And he's right. You will have a slightly increased probability of drawing that brand new airdrop card inside of your pack because it's freshly released. The supply is untouched, relatively, despite the besides the airdrop, and because 13 other cards, namely the next future airdrop cards, are not yet released. They're not in circulation, so they can't be in the pack, meaning you have a better chance of getting that new exciting card. So his point is, if that's a crazy powerful, overpowered summoner, legendary, need to have it card, then maybe I really want to open all my packs right away, because then I'm getting an increased likelihood of getting that card. Again, that's going to depend on the it's a great point, Kingbo. You're going to want to look at how powerful that monster is, right? Is it an amazing, game-changing, meta-defining summoner or monster? Then you're probably right. You want to open that to try and take advantage. But before you do, make sure that Splinterlands has dropped that airdrop, because you want them. That'll be the trigger. That'll be the indicator that yes, every pack now moving forward will include that new airdrop card. If they haven't yet dropped that airdrop card because of some delay or something, then it won't be in the pack yet. And you'll want to wait until they actually do that so that you can take advantage of it. Like you're thinking. Great. I love to see the thought process there, Kingbo. You've thought that through, and you're 100% right. And that's a good point that I hadn't even I've thought about previously, but in the context of this airdrop and this pack release, I hadn't factored that in. That makes me a little more excited, even more, to get into some of these packs. Maybe I might do 1,000. We'll see. Well said. Gathering the Magic said, so the next airdrop starts on December 8th. Don't buy cards for the first few days. Save your DEC. Wait for the prices to cool off. Again, Jovac or Gathering the Magic. Yeah, here's the thing. I said, yes, generally. But then again, be mindful about exploring the market. The problem is you need to be able to decide if it's a smoking deal or not. And if so, strike. But generally speaking, I'd expect most cards to be overpriced initially. Most cards, not all cards. There will be some deals. Then they'll dip, right? They spike because there's limited supply and great demand. Then they dip because more and more supply comes on the market. And then eventually, maybe, weeks, maybe years later, the price begins to really spike again because these are deflationary assets. And so depends on your time scale, depends on your ability to observe, what you think is a deal. But I really, really think you should be looking at it on day one and, taking bites when it makes sense. That's the problem. You need to understand that topic. When does it make sense? Stay tuned to the channel. Tim says, will the value of DEC have any effect on the price of cards? The price of cards is US dollar value, but then paid in DEC. So not really. So Monster Kill 30, if you say you want $5 for a card, you're going to get $5. If it sells today and DEC is worth a penny, you're going to get 500 DEC. If it sells tomorrow and DEC is worth 500 pennies, you're going to get 1 DEC. It shouldn't really matter to you whether you got 1 DEC or 500 DEC. I know it does because there's airdrop points and all that, but you have to people who think about this sometimes they think, well, I want to have when I talk about flipping monster cards, I don't care about how many DEC I get back. I care about how many USD I get back because I'm going to reinvest that value immediately. If I buy a $100 card and sell it for $200, I'm going to take that $200. I don't care how many DEC it is. I'm going to put it back into new cards that I can immediately list again to flip again. It's this process of constantly flipping. That means I don't really care how many DEC I'm getting because I'm reinvesting the value immediately. And so if I'm getting 1 DEC back or 1,000,000, it doesn't matter because I'm not taking advantage of airdrop points in the first place. And second, my whole goal is focused on getting more and more cards in my portfolio that I can theoretically sell for greater values than I paid for them. And when people say, but they're not really greater values than you paid because if you just held the DEC, you'd be doing better. No, you don't understand. I'm trying to grow my US dollar value. I don't care about how many DEC each of my cards is worth. I understand DEC will move up and down, as time goes on. I want to actively pursue growth by buying inexpensive cards and then selling them for higher profit margins. That will be an active pursuit where I'm being proactive to seek gain. What you're describing, if not you, Pim, but what some people connected to this idea feel is if you just hold DEC, that's like the best thing in the world. To me, it's nonsense. Like you're literally sitting on assets and hoping that everything continues to go up. Like the price just keeps going up, and it might, but that's not actually like a proactive plan. It's literally you sitting there twiddling your thumbs, hoping that things work out. DEC will eventually fall again. Be cognizant of that. It might be 250 days away, but it will eventually fall again. And I like to actively seek gain, not passively wait for benefit. That's my view on it. And that's partly why, coming back to the Chaos Legion packs in December 8th, that's why I'm starting to feel like, yeah, I need to open them. So I can, even if I would gain 300 airdrop points by holding onto my Chaos Legion packs for the rest of the duration of the airdrop, that's 300 points per day per pack. That's a lot of airdrop points. That's a lot of SPS I could get. But if I open them, the power will likely be around 120, according to Peak Jarvie, 118, I think he said. I trust his math. I don't know how he knows that, but I trust him. So it'll be less, but here's the problem. It'll be less airdrop points, but it'll be more utility because I can actually use the cards. Point one, not only is it more utility, I can profit from them in the form of renting or winning in rank battles. I can win more tournaments. There's different ways that the cards are useful that the packs aren't. So even if the packs give you more airdrop points, which is more SPS, that's a passive form of growth, but I want active. I want proactive opportunities to maximize my gain. Well, open the packs. use the cards, rent the cards, sell the cards in certain situations where their value is really higher than I think is justifiable. And then, start working that market to fully take advantage of all that volatility that's going to come in the first days. So I hope that answers your question, Pim. Will the value of DC have any effect on the price? Not really. But you have to, I guess you have to take the question one step further and ask yourself, how important is it to you that you hold DC? Are you really fixated on the SPS airdrop points? And if so, the price you receive for a sale of a card could be less tomorrow than it is today. And so in a sense, the answer is kinda, because the value of DC changes. And so it doesn't have an effect on the price of the card, but it has an effect on the recipient's received value. I hope that makes sense. And Beef Ross says it really doesn't, since cards are priced in US dollars. He's right, but I'm just trying to take it one step farther, because you can explore that idea and keep going with it and say, okay, but if I sold it, how many DEC do I get back? If I bought something and then I sell it again, am I losing DEC in the process, even if I'm gaining US dollars? That's a consideration, but for me, it's a minor consideration. Marksman J says, is it really worth it to go up into a higher league? Absolutely, Mark. Well, I mean, it depends where you're at. If you're in Bronze 3, it makes a gigantic difference to go to Bronze 2. Bronze 3, you get 10% chance to get card in each loot chest. Bronze 2, you get 20%. Bronze 1, you get a 30%. Silver 3, you get a 50%. So that's a huge difference in sort of card earning. And then also, I think Silver is the first place you start getting DEC for your wins, I believe, and DEC in your loot chests, I think. So definitely it does. But then if you're in gold, if you're in silver trying to get the gold, that's a big price difference. If you're in gold trying to get the champion, that's a gigantic price difference. So it depends on what league and, what your budget and, what you're aiming at. But absolutely, it can make a meaningful difference. Madrix Video Game Session says, how does I know, how can I know if a good flip or not? Ooh, great question. Hard question to answer. Oh my goodness. So complicated. It sounds like you list like 6 words and you think it's like you think that's just going to be an easy question to answer. It's not at all easy. Understanding what is high value and what is low price are very difficult things to do. I try and walk through that on this channel a lot, and we do videos on that exact topic. I also do other videos on bargain hunting. I also do other videos on, the evolution of the meta. All of these topics are interwoven into this idea of deciding whether a card is a good flip or not. But another one of the, and I've done videos on this that you need to go watch specifically around monster flipping. I did one video specifically on this topic, about a half an hour long. It's relatively recent. Probably find it for you. Filter. Monster flipping. 31 minutes long. It was published November 7th, 2021. This video is my best attempt to explain how you can effectively monster flip. And I give a few examples in there, and they involved the cards you can see on the picture: Fineback Turtle, Goblin Shaman, and Flamesmith, I think. So go check out that video. That'll help you. And if you need more like that, I mean, you really just need to stick around with the channel, because it's not something I can tell you in 10 seconds. It would be a master class. Like, it literally could be a multi-week class that we orchestrate. We sit down together, and you back and forth questions and answers. And so start there, go through that and see what you think. Matt Denzi says, hi, Dwayne. I also enjoy reading, and I also appreciate your sharing. Last week, I purchased a few books to add to my read list. Now, one of those was Screwtape Letters. Others are The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. That sounds interesting. And The Righteous Mind. The Buddha and the Badass. That sounds cool. Atomic Habits. Cool. Aichi and Aichigai. My recently read books are Blink, The Tipping Point. That sounds interesting. Secret Letters of the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and Stepien, BTW. What do you mean by limited government? Does it mean limited involvement of the government into the affairs of its citizens? Okay, so first of all, Matt's commenting on a private video that's members only. If you guys want members only content, you got to be silver or higher. I send out videos once a week that are just get to know me videos. I'll answer questions that they leave. I'll also just share whatever's on my heart. If I want to talk about something, I'll share it. And I told the guys about some of my favorite books, and I also talked about my desire to I am a libertarian, and so that means to me, in part, that I am for limited government, and I am for free markets. Free markets, first of all, are the idea. If you guys don't know, it's the idea that somebody has a service, somebody has money, they can meet and agree on exchange. You want to sell me something, I want to take it. No one should get in between that. Period. Full stop. Now, as I say that, some examples come to mind where it's like, I don't want those sales happening because I don't want exploitation to occur. And probably in your mind too, there are laws in society that is different. Like there are criminal laws in society, and I'm not saying we should decriminalize everything. Certain things are dangerous, and we have to have a cultural decision around those topics. But limited government and free markets are goals, not you never have perfect. I'm not saying black and white, 1 or 0. I'm saying free markets, for the most part, a seller and a buyer should be able to come together and negotiate terms and agree to something, and that would be a proper free market. And then associated with that important idea is the idea of limited government, which means that government doesn't get involved in every little thing and say, oh well, we think fossil fuels should be taxed at a higher level, and therefore we're going to put fossil fuel taxes on gasoline, on oil, on whatever, because the implication is that the government knows best and you don't. But here's the thing: both business and individuals have to generate a profit, or they're not going to do what they do. And like every business in the world, every single business must garner a profit or they will eventually go out of business. Period. So if we start telling businesses, and we already are, but if we continue telling businesses over and over and over in a myriad of different ways that you can't do business like this, you have to do business like this, then what we're actually doing is being involved. We're actually putting the thumb on them, and we're using authority to say, we will decide how seller meets buyer and under what situations they're allowed to extract goods and services, exchange goods and services for value. I say, keep them out of it. Let individuals and culture and criminal law decide what is appropriate or allowable or permissible. And then, to the extent possible, have the government just stay aside. The government should oversee things like, the international affairs between one nation and another. Sometimes that will require military, but primarily speaking, they don't need to be involved in what color my front door is, how many doors I have on my house. These are things that are actually, in some areas, are regulated. Does my door open out or in? Those are literally things. Those are rules that exist in parts of the world. That last one is in California, and people will come and fine your business if your door opens out as opposed to in. And just crazy to me. It's an impediment to free markets. It's an impediment to personal success. It's an impediment to communal success, because when one individual thrives, when you succeed in life, you naturally are going to benefit those who are next to you. Your wife, your husband, your daughter, your son, your mom, your dad. They're going to have incidental benefit from your success. And then because of your success, they might have other success of their own. Like they can stand on your, you've heard the expression, stand on the coattails of greatness, right? Or stand on the shoulders of others. It's like this idea that, you do well, and by your success, your daughter or your son or your friend or your brother can have a greater amount of success after you because of what you accomplished. And that's what we should be aiming at, getting out of people's way so that they can maximally succeed individually, because that will collectively benefit all of us. And we've seen that in the last 150, 200 years with, America becoming what it has become. And it's now, in my opinion, beginning to deteriorate in a lot of ways. But not just America, but the West. the West has grown to power because it understood what I've just described to you. It understood the power of free markets. It understood the power of limited government, and letting entrepreneurs have runway with which they could individually succeed so that they could collectively benefit. And when if some people out there will probably doubt that idea of collective benefit from individual benefit, but you shouldn't even, you don't have any ground to stand on, because like if you look around wherever you live, the homeless people in America are fat, right? Obesity is rampant. These are two primary examples. I don't just mean homeless people. I mean in like the broader population. What does that tell us about the West? It tells us that we are rich. Even our homeless people are well fed. When I say well fed, I mean that they have food and that they have so much caloric intake they can actually gain fat on their body. In other parts of the world, in India, in really destitute areas where free markets are maybe beginning to reign but do not yet fully reign, starvation occurs. And you can see the children emaciated children, and you see it on the fundraising commercials, right, for some African communities. And that's because there's true destitution there. And those people do not have life. They do not have the improvements that we enjoy because of the individual benefit and incidental benefit that comes from free market. So that's what I meant by limited government. And I think government should stay out of the way. You get it. Limited government means that the government has limited involvement. They stay out of the way for the most part. And we try to resolve everything that needs resolving. If there's a collective, if there's a question that needs collective resolution, like something we need to decide together, you decide that on the lowest level of authority possible. Can you decide it within your own family? You should. Can you decide it within the people of your own street, your own block? You should. Does it have to go to the city or the town that you live in? Okay, then let them decide it. But like you want to decide it at the closest level of authority to the point of the problem. You don't want to go to the Supreme Court every time to decide the smallest little trivial thing. You want the highest level courts to resolve the highest level matters, and the smallest level authorities, mom and dad, to decide smaller level things. And in that way, you have limited government. It doesn't get involved in every little thing. Thanks, Matt. Bing Torres with the love. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Yuki says, used to record all the videos from your phones while you're walking in the woods, right? Those were good times. You can type ability. You can type ability in ability name to show monsters with the ability in peak monster search. Okay, hang on a second. So first of all, he's mentioning that I used to record my videos on my phone while I was walking in the woods. I was camping at that time, Yuki, and I didn't have like the studio yet, and also we hadn't really blown up. I absolutely will do that again, because in certain situations I will be out for this weekend. I'll probably do one or two of those, because just to say hey and show you guys what I'm doing and whatever. It'll be fun. And then he said, you can type ability to show monsters with ability and peak monsters. Let's look at this. Can I go flight? What? Can I do this? It says right there I can. It says card name, ID, ability. So flight is ability. Void. Wow. I did not know that. It's called flying, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't know that. But still, this is a cool feature. Thank you for telling me that, Yuki. But I still prefer Splinter cards, because when I come over here, I like the way they lay it out. Want protect? There they are. And look, it shows me not only the card, but a big representation of it. And then look, it's got a little number there. It says 6. So you got to be level 6 Crustacean King to get the Fortify, or the Protect, I mean. And level 1, level 3, level 3. That's an improvement, because see, look, I search Void. Gargoyle Lion, it tells me has Void, but not at level 1. It doesn't tell me at what level. I have to click on it, then I have to open up here. Okay, he gets Void over there at level 5. That's 50. So that's more work. Jarvie, if you're watching, that might be a little, if somebody types in an ability, could it open up a separate window like this or something? Might be smart. Maybe it's just me, but I think this looks user friendly. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And you guys know I love Peak Monsters. They're great. My favorite site, but just for this one feature, I like Splinter cards. Questions? Do a few more. Gotta wrap up soon. We're already at 40 minutes. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 more. Milestone Del Castillo says, I'm playing this game around 3 months, and I believe me or not, I just invested US $10 for a spell book, and now I already have 4K. Whoa. You guys hear this? So Milestone del Castillo says that he started 3 months ago with $10. He bought a starter pack, nothing else, and he has $4,000 in assets using airdropping around 21 SPS per day. Good for you, dude. Good for you. That is amazing. Seriously, that's exciting. That sort of victory is possible to everyone. I really sincerely believe that. But tons of you people, I see comments who are like, this doesn't work and this game sucks and like I can't win anything and it costs me so much for rentals. When you say those types of things, guys, I want you to take a deep breath and think to yourself, wait a second. It's working for other people. So there must be something that I'm maybe some way that I'm stumbling. Try and figure out the way you're stumbling, pick yourself up and try again. Or for that matter, maybe also, if it's just not for you, if you just really decide this game is not for you, so be it. Then you walk away. But obviously it's working. It's working for some people, and some of them are on YouTube. So check them out and make sure that you're trying to follow the steps that they're outlining. Armin, can't believe I missed this, the giveaway. Armin's always asking me for the intro. We're going to get there, Armin. Just patience, my friend. Razor says, I have something to say about this community. I couldn't afford one voucher. My guild gave me one just for being in it. And I won another in 5K celebration. People can be awesome. I'm not part of TNA guild, but I feel like part of it. Dwayne, you're a great guy. Keep helping us with your videos and enjoy your vaccination. I thought he said vaccinations. Your vacations. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Razor. That's really kind. Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, I totally agree. This game is different and we're all benefiting. And like I kind of pointed out earlier when I was talking about free markets and stuff, it's like we're all here offering something, our time and our attention. Some of people are also offering, in addition to that, they're offering their money. And when you come to the table and you bring those things, you can extract value from this thing. And it's exciting. And it's like we all can win. And the same with the community of the Splinterlands YouTubers. There's like, or Twitch streamers. It's like, you've seen me do a number of interviews or be interviewed by others. It's like, these guys are great. And they get the value proposition that's available here. It's like, this thing really does reward you for your time and attention. And there are ways that you can extract the most possible reward for that investment of time and attention. And so hopefully this channel is helping you understand those, like how to approach that. Hopefully you're getting a lot of these videos. If so, I encourage you to like and subscribe. We're over 5,200. Yes, we'll probably set up another party at 10,000 maybe. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how long it takes. Guys, I really appreciate you. A ton more comments here. I can't get to everybody. I'm super grateful to this community that just like continues to pour into it and send the, okay, I got to answer one more question. Here it is. I already answered it, but Matthew is a good friend of mine and he's asking, does 1316 or 116 in the TNA logo mean something? Yes, Matthew, it does. It's a reference to Romans 1:16. So thanks guys. I'm going to leave it there. Have an amazing day. God bless. Oh, and see you probably on Tuesday, unless something cool happens and I'll shoot a video from my phone. Bye for now.